back to the year 2001 when we first ran for election, you would see a guy that you're looking at right now thinking to himself, you know, maybe it's time for me to try to seek office in this wonderful community we live in. I got encouragement from lots of people I knew, lots of friends who were saying, well, why don't you give it a shot? And so I kind of did. Tom Riley helped me at the time, and so did Dr. Bennett at the time. They were both encouraging me to run. And Tom said, why don't you call Andy Tobin? And I said, well, who's Andy Tobin? And it turns out now we all know who Andy Tobin is. But at the time he was, and he's still doing insurance business, but he helped me get organized and kind of helped me run the campaign such as it was at the time. And I look back now and how lucky I was to have been able to make that contact. As time went by and we started getting signatures to run for office, I'd go to the home show, and I spent the full weekend at the home show standing at the door and getting people to sign my petitions and everything, and gathered enough signatures and got them all, you know, got on the ballot. And the interesting thing was that once you see, or when you see your name on the ballot, it starts coming home to you what you've done, what you're doing, and how important it is, because people, you begin to sense that people are perhaps will be trusting in you to hold a public office. And it was kind of I don't know, almost surreal at the time. I was actually in Texas, Grand Prairie, Texas, on 9/11 of 2001, which was the primary date for Bob Bell and I when we ran the first time for office, and finished fourth in the primary. And Andy called and said, well, you know, we finished fourth, so we're going to have to work harder to see if we can win in the general election. It turned out that Bob Bell finished first, and I finished second in the general election a couple of months after that. But the interesting thing, too, was it was one of the first times, so I think it was the first time we had mail-in ballots. And I've often looked back as to what kind of a turnout we would have had on that primary election if we had gone to the voting booth, because 9/11 happened, and we were all glued to our TVs, and I was stuck in Grand Prairie, and it took a while to get home, and all those things were going on at that horrible time in our history. So that's how we started in public life, and we've gone now. When I say we, I'm talking about all the people I've worked with, and Bob Bell and I came in together, and now we're going to be leaving together. How much, what the challenges were, and all the things that were going on at the time, and they kind of all meld together. As the years come and go, and my goodness, you blink your eyes, and now here we are 8 years later, and time's up. Just before I started to do this interview, I was cleaning out my desk, so, you know, here at City Hall. So that's how fast things move sometimes. There's been a lot of things that we've done that we are very proud of. We had the good fortune of having good economic times for the first essentially 6 years that we've been in office, and that makes life a lot easier for somebody who's been elected to public office, that if you have a good economy. And we've been able to accomplish quite a few things, and those things are good.